Alright, so today we're going to do a tissue culture update for the Orchid Chronicles. Why don't we start with some of the bigger seedlings? First of all, we have Calopogon tuberosus. I think there's a little bit of bacteria growing in there with these guys, but it doesn't really seem to be bothering them. They're getting quite large in the flasks. Let's take a look at these. These guys are thriving. They're doing quite well. So what Calopogon does, you can start to see the corms forming at the base of the plant. That swelling, they will photosynthesize and take up nutrients and material and send it into a corm, which will then go dormant, at which point they can be deflasked, refrigerated, and then grown out in moss like normal bog plants. Got a whole bunch of different things going on here. We got some dendrobium seeds, arachnis, Pogonia ophioglyphoides that are just starting to germinate. What I find is that if you bleach the Pogonias for an hour and then put them on a kinetin and peptone-rich medium, such as BM2 or K400 with added hormone and peptone, you get germination. The protocorm kind of spears itself out of the seed coat. It's really weird. We've got more tuberosis in here. You can see those corms forming. They're all in the same medium. I don't know why they're behaving differently. So let's show you guys a germinated Pogonia embryo under the scope. It's just going to take a sec. There it is. So you can see that there's a seed on the right that has an embryo still in it. The embryo elongates and basically leaves the seed coat, which you can see on the left right there. See that guy right there? There it is, right there on the left. It's not those black specks, it's that kind of maggoty looking thing. Then we have some cypripediums going. Most notably, Cypripedium reginae is germinating and producing quite visible protocorms. You can see all those white protocorms on the surface of the medium. You don't really want to keep them under the light for that long because they're photosensitive, but they're all over the place in there. One of them had some bacterial contamination, and so I basically exposed the whole flask or tube to some chlorine gas, and I don't think that the bacteria, the pink is from highlighter I drew on the bottom to see if the bacteria would spread anymore after the sodium or the chlorine gas treatment, and it doesn't look like it's done that. So it looks like we're so far so good and all that. I did the same to rescue some Akali that had been similarly disturbed by a bacterium that was actually making the seeds germinate more quickly, but then it was killing the young protocorms. So I totally reflasked them after treating them with the, let me see if we can see the seeds on the surface. Not really. I totally reflasked them after I exposed them to the chlorine gas, which I made in a fume hood by mixing bleach and hydrochloric acid. You want to be very careful when you're doing that sort of thing because it's dangerous. So I got some other cypripediums in here. We've got guttatum. Let's see if I can... They are germinating, but it's been a slow road for them. So you may not see too much in terms of protocorm activity. This is Californicum, which takes even longer than guttatum. Californicum and Akali are very slow to develop. More Californicum. Let's see if we can find a emerging protocorm of the guttatum. There we go. You can see the seeds have very swollen embryos in them, especially that cluster in the middle. And very soon we will have protocorms of Cypripedium guttatum. And in here we have the Ophrys, which is a European genus of bee and wasp mimicking orchids. This is Ophrys mimosa, and you can see that there are protocorms on the surface of the medium. This is BM2 medium with added turnip pieces. Ooh, that protocorm is getting quite large right there. Look at that guy. That's it, my children. They need to be put in a big kit's habitat soon. Just kidding. So that's Mimosa. There's Tenthodinifera, which are just starting to show up. They're just starting to emerge. And then Speculum is taking the longest. I think I only have one Speculum tube. Here's Ophrys Speculum. They're just starting to swell inside of the seed coat, so I don't really see any visible protocorms yet. The purpose of this cabinet is to keep things dark. A lot of these things germinate underground. This is my first go at Ophrys seeds. It doesn't really seem like much is going on. I think that they were over bleached. What are you gonna do? So a couple of things. What I've found is that when I wrap these tubes with parafilm, contamination rates are lower, probably because the tape doesn't fully seal off the inner part of the tube from the outside air. Also, if less medium is near the very tip, you get lower contamination rates. And I don't use cotton to plug these anymore because it seemed that cotton was wicking in contaminants. Whatever you can do to keep contaminants under control, you might as well do. And so that's kind of the tissue culture operation right now. I deflossed the tissue cultured cactus seeds, in case anybody was wondering. I don't think I even made a video about the fact that I tissue cultured barrel cactus. So that's that for now.